Hello and welcome to our S2 Superhero feedback video. We wanted to pull this together so that you guys can see us reacting to your work. We've been so impressed with the stuff that you've pulled together and the effort that's gone into it over the course of the Superhero project that we wanted to kind of share the best stuff that we've seen, the stuff that's really impressed us, and some of the really good efforts that have gone into the work that's been submitted. So thanks so much for all the work that's gone into it. It really is appreciated, and there's some fantastic stuff out there which we're about to see. So without further ado, let's get some of the D&T guys along. What we did was we set a bunch of tasks to do with superheroes, from cityscapes that you might see in graphic novels and comics, all the way through to merchandise that you might see on the shelf. So what we've got first of all is a few of the, I was in charge of looking after Darach. So we've got Carla and Zach's works there. They're 1 point perspective sketches. What I particularly like about these, one, they're both like really nicely drawn. Line quality is like they've done a really nice job of that. But I particularly like Carla's actually got her little superhero flying over the buildings, which I thought was a nice touch as well. So just really nice couple bits of work there. And then similarly, same deal with these. I mean, Diana's was one that I actually sent to you guys on WhatsApp in terms of going, my goodness, look at this. It was one of the first ones that I saw, and it was just absolutely blew my socks off. So such a good piece of work, really nice, like from Archie and Diana's point of view. So clear that they get the idea, and I don't know, I think you would look at that and go, yeah, that's ready for the pages of a graphic novel or a comic. So really cool. But I don't know if you guys remember me sending those things out. It's one of these kind of weekly things of WhatsApp. You know, there'll be one or two where we just go, my goodness.
Actually sent the picture of Diana on to some art teachers that I'm friends with as well to show them how good it was. So. Yeah,
no, it's been very impressive. I sent it to Mr. Isdale as well, actually. And he had his own go, and let's say it was less impressive.
Oh, really?
I don't know if Mr. Isdale would not like me saying that, but...
You not got enough on his plate at the moment, no?
I don't know if he was bored in a meeting or something. But no, super work. The next one we looked at was some, making toys for your superhero, because clearly I think they've made like more money from the toys of Star Wars than the movies of Star Wars. I'm sure I heard that, but what I really liked about the toys was the creative use of stuff. So clearly we're in, at a time kind of quite a hard lockdown. So people were being really resourceful with what they found. So we've got, obviously, Charlie's done his dagger in some form of like icing. Thomas has clearly made really good use of photos and Lego. He actually posted a bunch of photos, which really helped in terms of getting a feel for this kind of Lego toy, I suppose. I just thought really impressive use of stuff. I'm guessing you guys saw the same in terms of your toy, the stuff that came back.
Is that icing?
I think so.
I had a few.
It's a really clever idea, because you're thinking, you can color it. Obviously he's got the flames on the hilt and the handle, and you can mold it, and it was just ingenious.
He's obviously put a lot of time and thought into that.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah, smashing.
What was that, Miss Campbell?
I wanted to eat afterwards.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I'm assuming it is edible, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Thomas
cool.
isn't edible because it's Lego, but I wonder how he got the handle looks completely cylindrical. And I wonder how he's done that.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I wonder what size it is. Do you have a sense of scale?
For Charlie's one, I know. Well, I suppose those that are familiar with those cutting mats would be able to work it out.
Yeah, because it looks like a rolling mat.
Yeah, or a rolling mat. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I mean,
half in circles, like 4 inches of diameter.
Very good. So I mean, what I really liked about the toys, and this goes for all of them, was just seeing them coming in and being like blown away with the ingenious use of stuff, and kind of real kind of thinking on feet, and I was really impressed. I found that one, Maxie's really just made me laugh. Is I don't know if you can quite see, but it's made out of sticks. And even with that, it's sticks that look like they've been glued together, but so much attitude in the expression. And I just found it really, really like amusing and like.
Yeah, that's got a lot of thought into it.
It's got like a lot of character in the piece as well. And again, it's kind of saying, right, well, what can I do? Like, I'm in lockdown. I can't do this, that, and the next thing, but what can I kind of do to achieve that? So it made me smile when I saw it, and I thought, yeah, it's a really cool thing. Hopefully he's not lying in the bin somewhere in bits.
It's very creative.
My travels in Africa, I saw like lots of those little tribal kinds of statues all over the place, and
good point.
It's looking into the depth of your soul with the eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then similarly, sorry, what was that, Mr. Owen?
I was saying it's got a great face.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that so Matt has taken the time to set up a studio where he's put it on a table up against a wall, so that actually, you know, the colours and things, you know, the position in which he's actually taking the photograph works really well. Yeah. He's showing it off well. So.
Similarly with, I think the DTP one, the task that Anna's done on the left there, was probably the hardest one to get looking really good. And the thing that really struck me with Anna's one, she'd used her 1 point from the first task, which I thought was a really clever idea. But also it just looks really formal, it looks very kind of professional. And then I saw the wee tagline at the bottom, which was Hearts win the Scottish Cup. I was like, I was this close not to including it. But you know,
they need some sort of win at the moment, man.
We all have our flaws, but no, it was.
Sorry, Mr. Younger, are you not a Hearts supporter?
Well, moving on. No, I mean, in terms of like the columns and the lines and the rules and the images and the titles, like it's
very aligned.
It's so good.
Okay, right. So, I can talk about these. These
what was the plan first of all in terms of what was the task, Mr. Owen?
Okay, so these are various bits along the path of the superhero task. Okay, so at one point, at one stage, they were going to have to design mask and costume together with logos. So you can see what Holly has got going on here. Okay, in two bits of hers. Yeah. She's got her superhero, whose whole sort of look she's carefully designed, and she's put 5 possible logos down the right hand side, and they all have, as well as being very, very creative, the colors again have got a degree of unity. They work from the same sort of color spectrum, you know?
Yeah. I think Holly's one of these ones that week after week the tasks were just blew our socks off.
Yeah,
that's so good. Yeah.
So Holly's produced loads of good stuff. So we just picked out a couple of bits here, and also mainly because it was things other people's hadn't done at all. You know.
Yeah.
You can see that also she's then looked at the mask. She's then taken, you know, a design or a standard picture of a head, you know, and then she's drawn, you know, different possibilities onto it. You know, so I thought it was just a different way of approaching the task and annotating it. So I like that very much. So that's great stuff, Holly. And so that's Holly's now in second year. Alamir, okay, and now the next one on this page is Corinne, Corinne, who's now second year Ketan. Okay, so again, I liked what she'd done there with her ideas, partly because she'd drawn just an outline or taken a basic outline, and then she'd taken another version of the same outline and simply stuck stuff over it. You know, put on the hair, put on the mask, put on sort of green, sort of fluffy at the top. Obviously, a great big stinger for the queen bee. You know, I'll put wings behind it. You know, I thought it was a really, really interesting, very striking.
That looks like it's maybe being used kind of digital rendering as well, like maybe.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Paint or something like that.
I love the way she's used a honey
stirrer
as a hairpin.
It's a cool touch.
Yeah. No, it's a lovely piece of work. Yes.
Yeah,
two that put up as well.
It was funny. I saw this one when I was pulling this PowerPoint together, and I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure I've ever seen a pipe cleaner with more attitude.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really clever use. Just that kind of hand on the hip kind of pose. I thought that was a really, really funny and really clever, and
So yeah, so this one, I think Jessica has produced that since a change of timetable. Again, clearly, she's a bit like we talked about with Max a minute ago. She's gone out of her way to use, what's around the house. She's made a wee belt there. She's taken a wee skirt, the bottom half of the dress, stitched the design on it. Yeah, it's super.
That's really cool.
Drawn or stuck on the mask and everything. It's super.
It's so creative, isn't it? It's a peg, isn't it? A wooden peg.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I think so. So
Very
that's really creative. And then Annalise's work, that'll be before we change the timetable. Again, lots of people did different, did some super designs for costumes. I particularly like the fact that she just done them with this sort of, very stylized, sort of oversized head, quite a sort of, clearly non-human proportions, and she'd obviously got a lot of sort of flair and style, how she's used her colour and her annotations. So.
I like the use of marker pens there. I think that works really well for the kind of impact of those. Nice work.
Okay.
Wowzer.
Awesome.
So Ava
really
now,
cool.
I've put Ava as 3A. Again, she's now in third year, though, this was done before she was she was second year. Now, she actually had a range of 5 or 6 pictures, which, again, she'd obviously done, I think are all done on some kind of tablet, I imagine. There's obviously, they're done digitally, but she's had to use her hands to produce that, so there's a whole range of these pictures, of which that one there is just one of 5 or 6 really striking designs.
And Emma's one, that's the kind of classic superhero running pose, and the hands which are, they say in terms of drawings, it's hands and feet that are really hard to do. And those are really well drawn. Similarly, the mask is really cool to see too. It's a really cool piece of work.
That's the picture we've inserted into the corner there. That's a photo that Emma sent separately of the mask. When it came to the whole sort of mask project. That is a life-size mask. We've set it as a wee insert just to show that she sort of followed that through all the way.
Very good. No, so very cool. Very cool.
Okay.
More masks.
More
Natalie,
masks.
Well done.
Again, Natalie has spliced together there 4 of her mask designs, but also lower down 4 of her costume and logos. Again, and she's obviously trying to work with colour unity, and trying to sort of think very carefully about that. So again, really kind of creative.
I love those. The kind of logos running along the bottom of those they're very small drawings, but the logos look fantastic as well, like really vibrant and kind of bright and a really nice pieces of graphic design in their own right. And then taking that and then applying that to a mask is really cool. It's a really nice step. Very cool.
So that we liked. And Ruby, who's a second year Darach pupil, we liked certainly all those sort of different mask ideas, but also the ones that they sort of suggested. The annotations talk about the lightning powers, the invisibility powers. That depending on what sort of power might be, that might imply a different sort of color spectrum and so on. You can see that she's taken the one she liked the best. She's made the actual model of that, in blue with the flowers on. And produced it as a life size.
So that's a classic, simple but really effective one. It works really well. It is good to see those kind of the options that she's considered as well. So nice work, Ruby. My cursor's gone. There we go. Oh wow!
Again, ones that I put up here. Jack is now in third year. So I put that in because I was just quite struck by that. Although that's an early stage in the sort of design process rather than the finished thing, it just showed me a busy, active mind was at work. He'd taken the time to find things, print things, cut things out, consider options, annotate them, lay them down on a sheet, and there's all sorts of, that's laid down on a table, a bed, whatever it is, because there's scissors, there's some folded clothes off to the right sides and balls of string. It is the artist at work. It's the busy artist studio.
That's it.
So that showed an active brain, and that was exciting, Jack.
And that one from James, that's really expressively drawn. That's really cool,
isn't it? It is. Again, he had a whole range of those. He had at least half of them. And now it looks to me like, from a distance it looks marker rendered, but actually I'm again assuming, I think he's done that on a tablet with some kind of sort of sketching.
It'll probably just be the marker pen on a tablet. So it layers over and gets darker, and it's really cool. I like that a lot.
there are lots of those, and then the annotations, they're quite kind of sketchy and quick. Again, they're a brain, an excited, creative brain, in full flow. So
and quite possibly come with a fingertip as well, which is always.
Oh, I'm assuming so. Yeah.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. What have we got here?
Lynn and Oscar.
Again, both pupils who were finishing second year. Okay, now way back at the beginning, almost as a warm up to the superhero project, we got the pupils looking at the holes project. Got them taking basic shapes, taking holes out of them, and then combining them. And I was really struck by the fact that although loads of pupils produced beautiful sheets with lovely flat rendering, what Lynn had done is just taken the time to sort of pull all these different things together. Again, you can see almost the whole design process on one page. Mm-hmm. So that was really refreshing to see.
Yeah, that's cool. Good pose there from Oscar.
What, sorry?
It's a really good pose.
Yeah, isn't it? It's great. It's a great pose. And again, I cut out and inserted at the bottom there the mask he came up later that goes along with that superhero. But yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That's cool.
Pose, so.
Like that.
Yeah, so lovely stuff there.
It's got a bit of a Michael Jackson feel to it.
It has. Now I can tell you that Russell produced all the way through a superhero called Red Rider.
Nice.
The Red Rider, that'd be the reason for the RR on his name.
I like the RR.
Russell, that's cool. Yeah. Whole set of different sort of costumes, masks, logos, consider the colour schemes and that kind of thing.
Those arms look like you could do some damage.
Yeah, nice. Some pretty muscly arms there, I think he's used I think those are actually sort of silvery metallic sort of stripes.
That's coming through.
A little double R logo there that's just the sort of top of his chest.
What difference that silver pen makes in terms of just giving that whole thing just a lift. I like the knee pads as well, the branded knee pads.
I also like the way he's left the face blank. You don't have to go to that detail. That's fantastic.
That's cool.
That's great.
And then we've got some accessorizing going on from Zara.
So Zara worked through her theme. Now, the superhero she came up with had a name, which in the end we can actually see very faintly is in the bottom left of her picture, which is in a script which I don't recognise.
Oh yeah,
not a Roman
engraved on a
script,
choker.
Okay, but she was consistent through that. But basically, this hero has a whole sort of leopard type live in the trees sort of aesthetic going on.
Very cool. Particularly the use of annotations on that one really helps because it draws your eye to things that you might have otherwise missed, like she said with the Ziggy kind of angular kind of cuts around the neckline and the kind of wrist and thumb hole for your arm to go through, and that's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of detail there, so well done. Well done, Zara. Great. Okay. Yeah. I think we put maybe a couple of the last few that I put up. Rory then in second year, Alan year. Well, Rory's superhero. You might be wondering, other staff, why has Rory produced on, I presume it's SketchUp, is it?
That's good, yeah.
On SketchUp, why has he produced a building with a farmyard and some giant cows?
So I'm going to guess that superhero needs a really high protein diet.
You're on the right track. The superhero is called Captain Cow.
Okay.
And I believe Captain Cow lives in that house. And the idea basically is this was the CAD model of a play set which he would be produced. Whether it be produced as a CAD thing, as some sort of online game, or whether it would be actually go into physical production, as an actual model. So,
and does Captain Cow realise that the herd is currently escaping?
Captain Cow is aware that his cows are rather, if you look at the scale, they're actually slightly larger than the front door, for which he made, an apology, but it was pretty funny for him. Yeah. So that was good.
Awesome.
And Advert here, Advert, who's now in second year. Again, I liked a lot about his.
That's really cool. It's got a really kind of old school feel to it, which is 1902, which is a year very dear to me.
Well, for me, it had something about that thing where it had almost the aesthetics of the sort of post-war sort of UFO boom excitement going on. I quite liked that. It looked old school.
Very nice. Yeah,
and the way he's used
the narration, mate, like it's so good.
Nice, isn't it? Yeah.
You know the way like Ringo Starr does Thomas the Tank Engine? You can totally do that.
Wow.
So that's super.
That's your calling.
Yeah. Mr. Coyle, you were about to say something there?
I was just going to say, I like the way with the currency, the 60 pesos.
Yeah.
Yes.
The detail.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so he's done well there. Okay.
Rhiannon's got a lot of attitude in that superhero.
Yeah, so Rhiannon's again, there were several of these possibilities, and I produced that one because it was so kind of fun. It was so kind of flowing, you know, the sort of confidence in the pencil lines again, and the way she's drawn that and the kind of proportions. You know, as just a super.
Yeah, it's a great drawing.
Work by Rhiannon.
And same deal with Lewis. That's some really cool technical kind of intricate little drawings. It reminds me of the concept artist that did all the concept art for The Matrix. He did a lot of these immaculate pencil drawings of pretty much every piece of conceptual design in Matrix. He drew it first with a pencil and paper, and that really reminds me of that. His name's Jeff Darrow Lewis, if you're wanting to... No, is it Jeff Darrow? Yeah, I think it's Jeff Darrow.
I think that's the name,
to check out. He's an amazing graphic artist, and that's some really cool graphics right there.
It is, isn't it? And my typo there actually, Lewis is now in third year, so that was so yeah, he's the old.
I remember Lewis in class was looking at punk design, and it was really detailed. That looks fantastic.
Yeah,
great, isn't it?
Really good.
Okay.
Now this one made me laugh when I put it together as well. I absolutely love that Alistair's one in terms of that classic superhero kind of arm out pose, and I love the fact that it's got that kind of the purple mask, the underwear outside the costume, that like all those kind of superhero tropes. I just thought it was really funny.
It was such a clever use of Minecraft as well, the way, and he actually did it as a video, so you could it was dimensionally moving around the character. It's fantastic.
Superb.
Really good. Clever use of different software.
And there's
in Emma's one again, it's the detail. Everything's going to the point, and she's given a lot of shading, and it stood out.
Really nice piece of work.
Bo had a bit of a theme. Is it the Mandalorian?
Oh yes.
So, and I loved the way. Unfortunately, with that picture, the way I cropped it, you couldn't see the bottom.
Yeah.
But there was a whole unity to the page, and many of his projects, where you could see the Star Wars theme. It was fantastic. A lot of effort every week.
Yeah, because I look back at some of Bo's stuff he did leading up to that, and certainly he considered various sort of quite a lot of different kind of aesthetics. He'd come back to the Mandalorian thing. Kind of, over and over. He produced his Mandalorian mask. He produced full size.
One of the coolest.
So he was really,
characters ever.
Yeah, so really sort of dedicated all the way through that project. So.
Nice. Good work, guys. Cool. So we're getting into Force perspective.
Yeah. I threw that in as well. I've got a couple of back already with the Force perspective, and I like that. Nice. I think I made the comment to Emma that I hope he kept his arm, but it was really clever. She did that almost straight away when it was signed, so she was really clever.
Very good. And so there's Bo again. So I'm presuming this is some sort of like backpack Mandalorian stuff.
So clever, isn't it? I mean, and he probably gave at least 4, if not 5 different pictures from different angles, showing the detail that he done. You can see a kind of cylinder at the back. It's got a tinfoil sculpture on the top. It's really clever.
Very good.
Of detail.
And then Alistair, once again, I mean, the stuff from the One Point stuff has been so impressive. To take that, the video that we put up to try and draw along to, and then clearly, then the stuff that they've then come up with has been really, really impressive. So Alistair's done well again there.
Yeah, you could see a car going straight up the middle.
Yeah.
Excellent examples of the perspective drawings and the 2-point perspective, and Ewan there is really went to town with his rendering and his shading.
Really
and been very clever.
Looks like he's maybe used his finger to kind of do some smudging. To get rid of those pencil lines and stuff. That's worked really well. You can see the kind of bits that would take less light, like the middle of the A is darker than the back of the B. That's really clever. yeah, he's kind of really understanding the use of light there, and it's really popping off the page. That's great. Same deal with Emma's. Yeah, I mean, really nice kind of rendering within the kind of cut out parts, and yeah, really good.
And that curve as well, that's a really tricky bit to do.
And the curve is very hard. Yeah,
it really works, isn't it? And,
yeah.
and she's subtly rubbed out the construction lines. It's just to give that feel of the blocks floating.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Very good.
And with Leo, Leo was very consistent
as well. That's good.
Yeah, he's very consistent, and there's a lot of clever detail in there, like with the spray. And he put his, as you're saying there, he's put his perspective sketch back in there.
Yes, he
and
has.
There's a lot of detail in that as well.
I like the
with
little
his superhero.
The little superhero floating above the city there. That's cool. Very good.
We had a few Lego examples, and Kyler's, for example, stood out. I thought it was really clever. What I loved about that
little Vespa
project, there was a whole lot of different things used, from toilet rolls to baking, as you saw there with the sword, and to use of Lego. Some really clever ideas. With Jacob's idea, it didn't. It was great if it was done on publisher, but if not, then it was well planned and thought out, and it was just done
really
manually.
Nice piece of work. Yeah.
And Leo's there, you could see it was on publisher. Do you know, this page just shows the diversity and how creative everyone is. Ewan was very much, it was a spinning video, and you could zoom in and out. It was really clever. With Leo's there, he had, I mean, that's only 2 examples. He's got another model, but that's 2 examples.
I like the use of the torch, because you can do that at night time, just flicking the torch on and it kind of glowing away. That's cool.
And he actually has I should have included that. He has a picture with the torch on.
Right.
It's really clever. And with Lucy's there, she actually had another picture of showing the writing inside, which was really clever.
More good force perspective of dog in glass.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
Good work, Lucy.
Oh, yes.
And you know, if Marnie's there, can you guess what it is? Can you guess what Marnie's is?
Vacuum cleaner.
It's a vacuum cleaner for a superhero. Yeah.
Very good.
And it's actually the same colours as the costume for the superhero, and it's really clever. And with Luke's there again, you can see with using Tinkercad, but just all different ideas.
I saw this one earlier and I thought this was great. Again, like some of the force perspective stuff coming through is really cool. And not to mention the fact that's awesome wallpaper on Bruno's wall there. But yeah, the football kind of flying in, giant football hanging above his head.
Bruno's one of my cricket kids. Yeah. And before Mrs. Campbell had even put this up at 12 o'clock, Bruno actually had this task done.
Right.
And submitted it before it actually went live. And I gave him feedback straight away saying top marks from a Chelsea fan and a Juventus fan. I was delighted.
Yeah.
And the mask and the sketches done for Ed just blew me away.
Super. Well done, guys.
And from Coquette, I had like lots of examples of like really clean line quality. You can see there in Corinne's again that we saw earlier. All lines going back to the vanishing point very cleanly and discreetly, and some really nice tones out of there with the red and the orange, just makes it really fun.
It works very nicely. I really like the signature.
Well, that's fantastic.
And I love when Sarah sent in this submission. She was a little bit late, but she said, "I'm sorry for being a little bit late. I was too busy adding the detail." And I'm like, "Don't worry, pal.
You can tell. And similarly, Maximilian there is just an awesome piece of work.
That's fantastic. The shading on it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, and then the shading on Natalie's then as well, it's just really crisp edges, particularly in the Z where it goes from the diagonal to the straight, some really, really clean work there. And Maximilian, to come back to him, I just love how it fades into the distance effortlessly, from the detail to the nice length and flow.
Yeah, that's true actually. He's just kind of blocked in those last buildings and kind of shaded them in, and yeah, that's really clever. Nice work. Guys, thanks so much. That was really good fun to go through and see all the work. Clearly, we could spend hours and hours and hours, and I looked at hundreds of pieces. It was really difficult making these choices, but guys, thanks again. Have a lovely summer.